and gentlemen, and welcome to another video. Today I am bringing you something that I find very interesting, and hopefully you'll find it interesting too. If you don't, I'm not going to be offended if you click away from this video. Not in the very least, but it's something that I've been wanting to share and talk to you about for a while, and that is, how much money did I spend last year? Well, not just me and my husband. Last year I was gifted or lent the Barefoot Investor. Both myself and David went through and had a read of it, and we found it very useful, and so we started to instill and apply some of the advice that the Barefoot Investor had in his book, and I believe a year later we are in a very, very good place. So first bit of advice, which is unsolicited, is if you want to start saving some money, I would highly recommend listening to or purchasing or borrowing from your local library the Barefoot Investor. Also, it's gotten us into the f.i.r.e movement, and I'm not talking about the recent bushfires in Australia, although that is very devastating, and if you want to do something to help, please see the link in the description below, and you can donate some money there if you wish. No, f.i.r.e stands for Financial Independence Retire Early. Basically, it's the idea of making sure that you have enough money set aside so that if you feel like you don't wish to do your job anymore, you can walk away and find something else you want to do without having to worry about money problems. I mean, that sounds pretty amazing to me, and it might sound pretty amazing to you. To cut a long story short, because I've been blabbering on for a bit, this is what we've done in terms of organizing and tracking our money. I'll show you what we spent in a year and what we spent our money on as well.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so let me introduce you to a spreadsheet that will change your life. This is how we record our monthly expenses. I'm terrible. I actually don't put anything in on time. I wait until the 30th, go through all of my bank transactions, and then put it in on that day, whereas David will track it as he spends money, which I think is probably the better way to do it, because I end up forgetting what I've spent money on. But anyway, this is the empty spreadsheet. This is for February 2020. If you look down here, it's got all of our December stuff in there, and that's how I've got the data to be able to make this video. So if we have a look at how it's used, we've got these three columns: David's expenses, my expenses, and common expenses. Then we've got this column here, which is a description of the item. The second column, we put in these categories here, A through to M, so that way we can track what each thing is and how much we're spending on that particular category. And then the final column is the cost, and it'll be totaled up here, and then it'll also be totaled depending on what we've categorized it as. It is beautiful. Let me show you this spreadsheet in action. I'll go to August. David has put in his expenses, the first one being beer, if you see here, K, entertainment, lunch, A, food and groceries. Telstra means one of his bills, his phone bill, and so he's put it in like that. If you have a look over on my section, you can see dinner, A, food and groceries, coffee, food and groceries, psych, medical and health, something that I couldn't remember I spent money on, so I just said miscellaneous and put an M there, and then food. And then you can see our common expenses, so the stuff that we buy that contributes towards the household or to us as a couple, or it's things that we buy together. Coles, that's groceries. Coffee, we probably both got coffee together at some point. Fuel for the car, more groceries, another trip to the chemist, probably to buy Dermaid or something like that. That's just a cream that we put on our skin just to make sure that our skin doesn't get too inflamed, because we both have skin issues. It's probably one of the reasons why we fell in love. I don't know. Cider, fry pan, breakfast, etc, etc, etc. Also, another thing that I love about this spreadsheet is that all of the cells are colored such that the items that we didn't spend that much money on are going to be the darkest green, and the items that we did spend the most money on are going to be red, and everything else in between is like a yellow or an orange. So it's really great. It can show you what it is, what the item was that you spent the most money on that month. It's called conditional formatting. You can do it in any spreadsheet, and then of course you can come over here to this column and it will show you the totals for each category. So at the top, apparently in August, in total together we spent $7,610.75. For food and groceries, about a K. Rent, that's a given. Transport and auto, $226. utilities and bills 318, clothing, medical, blah blah blah. So you can see all of the breakdowns of what we spent that month on the category. So in terms of this month, the most expensive thing was medical and health, followed by food and groceries. It just gives you an idea of where that money is going, which I find very useful. I don't know about you, but I really like to know these things. So then we can have a look at this column down here called average, and it'll give me my monthly average. So that basically you put the data in and it'll calculate the monthly average. So this is the monthly average for 2019. Then we'll work out the monthly average for 2020 once that year ends. And then we'll have a beautiful line of monthly averages going on for eternity, and I'll know exactly where I spent my money on any given year, and it'll be fantastic. I digress. Let's go back to 2019 and see what we spent per month. So in total per month it was about 6k, which is pretty good. If you want to know what the average couple spends, I have done some Googling and I found this amazing infographic. This is relevant to those living in Australia. Maybe your country might have something similar to that. I don't know, but here we go. So this second column here, that'll be me and David. We're couples only, so we can use this data as sort of like a guideline. So it's saying that in total, a couple will spend $1,572 per week. And I calculated that to be around $6,288 per month. So as you can see, we're under that, which is perfect. In terms of food and groceries, we're spending about a K. If we're comparing it again with the average spend that the government has calculated, it's saying $239 per week, which is equivalent to $956 per month. So we're spending a lot more on food and groceries, but you know what, I'm not surprised because I love food, I love eating. It's a real problem. I need to work on it. I'm working on it this year, but yeah, I'm not surprised that we're spending more than average on food. The monthly spend for rent, according to this infographic, is $1,524, and we're spending $2,208. So again, over the average. Transport, $266. If I have a look here, they estimate that a monthly transport cost would be $972 a month or $243 a week, so well under the transport there. Utilities and bills, $290 per month is what we're spending. Comparing it with the average spend, $140. So spending a bit more on the bills, but that's okay. We do have that fast internet, you know, because it's a necessity. It is a human right to have fast internet, so we pay the good bucks for that. Clothing, $140. I've been wearing the same clothes from like 10 years ago. I can't remember the last time I bought myself a new piece of clothing. It was probably last year for my wedding. That's probably it. But they say $54 a week. What clothes are you buying per week? Oh my gosh. $216 per month. Medical and health, again, $878. This goes above what the average couple in Australia would spend. $69 a week, which works out to be $276 per month. I see a psychologist on the regular. Health is expensive, but it's important, you know. You got to keep yourself ticking over into the next year. So you may as well dole out that cash where it counts. Insurance, currently we don't pay for any insurance. We are under private health insurance, but my parents, the amazing people that they are, they pay for our private health insurance. As soon as I get my physiotherapy job, that is going to change because I'll be making more money and I'll be able to afford private health insurance, and then I will pay for that because David isn't a massive believer in private health insurance and I am. So then the next one, personal work home, $129 per month. They don't really have anything. They've got like recreation, $176, so I tailored that to be like $332 per month on like that, education, gifts, donations, entertainment, holidays. I included all of that together. So then we kick on over to the yearly spend. I can see a lot of double digits there. They're all for important things. For example, food and groceries. You need to feed yourself in order to live. So I'm willing to dole out the cash for that. Rent. You've got to protect yourself from the elements, from the rain, from the wind, from the fires that are engulfing Australia at the moment. It is absolutely crazy, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said earlier, there is a link in the description below. Please click it. Please donate some money. The firefighters need it. They need it to purchase the resources and the equipment they need to be able to protect the Australian population from bushfires. So please, if you have anything, $2, 50 cents, whatever, just donate it. Please give it away. Give it to people in need. Medical and health, like I said, you've got to be able to keep yourself ticking over into the next year. That's why it's not so bad to spend $10,000 a year on your health. If we have a look at this infographic again and we find out what the yearly expenses are for a couple, I've calculated it to be around $81,700. So we are under that by $10,000. I'm very, very proud of myself and of my partner David being able to spend very little during a month and to save so much. So then if you have a look down the bottom here, I've got some more tabs. Now I'm not going to click on them because it's private and confidential information and I don't necessarily want you guys to have access to it, but I will tell you what they're about. Essentially, the yearly expenses / savings is just a calculation of our yearly expenses and savings. And then what we've done is we've charted it here in Lifestyle Creep so we can see what we've earned, what we've spent, and what we've saved, and monitor that and make sure that we are not increasing our spending based on our increased income, because then that lifestyle creep is what gets you. That's what interferes with your ability to gain financial independence, because you're suddenly like, oh, I have all of this money now. Like, let's spend it all. But actually, no, you don't. You need that money for later on in your life. Like, delayed gratification. Let's put it away. Let's invest it. Let's earn some interest on it. Let's invest it in the stock market. Get some dividends on that. Let's grow that money there that you have saved. So that way, down the track, you have even more money and you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to go to work because you don't need money from your job because you've already got money to live your life. And it also helps us calculate whether we are on the right track in terms of our savings. So with this barefoot investor situation that we have going with our bank accounts and our savings and things like that, we have 60% that goes into an account that we use for daily expenses. So this is all of the things, the groceries, the rent, the transport, the bills, the clothing, the medicine, all that stuff. 20% that goes into an account called fire extinguisher, and the fire extinguisher is used to put out your financial fires. 10% goes into a splurge account, and the splurge account is what you can use for your entertainment. Or say I wanted to buy a new palette, I can use my splurge account. I can be like, oh, I feel like treating myself, I'm a splurge. Then we've got the smile account, and the smile account is your savings account for something that makes you smile. That's why it's called the smile account. So currently the smile account is going towards a house, and it's also going towards a holiday, which we've already booked and we're already going on next month. If you're counting along, and if you're able to keep up with my ramblings, 60% we spend on the daily. 20% is our safety net, 10% we get to splurge, and 10% we save for making us happy. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That was a very extensive, very exhaustive, very rambly description of what David and I spend in a year. What we spent in 2019 at least. I found this video to be very interesting. I really like being able to talk about this stuff and explain it, and like I really love the system that we have going. It just works so well, and there's spreadsheets to look at the end of every month, and you're just like, oh, good work, team, good work. I don't know, I can't remember what I've mentioned in this video, but I hope it's everything that I had to mention, and if I have left anything out, please make sure you let me know and I will answer your questions. Cool.
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's the end of the video. Thank you so much for sticking around and watching. If you like this video, make sure you click the like button. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I'm making videos this year and they will come out at some point. If you want to see more content from me on a more regular basis, then I would suggest going over to my Instagram, YouTube vlogs. I post stuff on there all the time, and you know, if you can't get enough of me here, you can certainly get enough of me over there. That's it for today. Peace out.